in second, and the next thing I was second again, and I was third, and I thought, oh, well, if I end up third, that's it. But, I mean, I saw these two tussling, I thought, well, there's a gap here, so I'm going to go for it.
There was a gap, and when you got through it was nice and clean, and once you got through, you didn't look like being headed, but, I mean, Porsche racing, particularly the 924s, have always been, let's face it, very competitive. But under the form of the
catch-up, Keith got down the inside of me into Graham Hill. I thought, he'll back up. But
no, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No,
well, he's up.
On the last lap.
Well, it's alright to cross the line in the lead. Thanks very much, guys. Another brilliant, entertaining race from Formula Colway, Porsche 924. Thanks very much to Martin Wood, to Keith Pemberton, and to Mark McClear. Right, so I'm going to nip upstairs, and it's time for the BRFCC Tomcat Vento Challenge. Tomcat Ventos, Dennis Bunning, Paul Wallace for the Tomcats on the front row of the grid, and then Michael Neuhoff, the changing name for your programme number 7, third on the grid in the leading Vento. They come up to the start finish line. Oh, goodness me, that was a wonderful start. Very good stuff there, and very controlled under rolling start conditions. And El-Buka, what a brilliant start that was. He was lurking back down there in 11th on the grid, but my goodness me, must have made up 3 or 4 cars, 3 or 4 positions anyway, as they crossed the line. Well, that's what they can do after a rolling start, and indeed he's in 7th from 11th as they come down the hill and through Graham Hill Bend. Absolutely splendid stuff. There he goes, number 90 along Cooper Straight, sort of midway through the pack as the leaders off and away, and as always from the standing start. Goodness me, that was a little bit of Jason going through McLaren. As always from the standing start, nobody really making much of an impression. You'll need to do a lap of full racing speed before you get the correct gaps, but a rather comfortable looking Dennis Bunning crossing the line there for the first time, and El-Buka again. Goodness me, he's a brave old boy. There he is now, having a little look down the inside into Paddock Hill Bend, but thinks better of it. Pulls out of that one. That was very close indeed. We'll keep an eye on him. He's already entertaining, and the race is only a lap and a bit old. As they come down through Graham Hill Bend, Bunning and Wallace, Watson in 3rd, and that's Tony Watson, who started 5th on the grid. And then we have our leading 2 Ventos, which are 57 and 7, led Simpson and Michael Neuhoff. Michael will be cheesed, I think, having started 3rd on the grid, to be lurking 5th in the race. But more to the point, from his point of view, only the 2nd Vento, having been leading Vento on the grid. So Dennis Bunning, there he is, crossing the line, reading up another lap. As I mentioned earlier, I'm fairly confident that Dennis has taken part in every single one of the CRX race there ever has been in this country. I'm sure that he holds that claim to fame. That's out here today in the Rover 220 Turbo Coupe, the Tomcat, leading down the hill from the similar car of Paul Wallace. So 23 and 21, 1st and 2nd. Tony Watson in number 6, in 3rd Tomcat, in 3rd place. Then, Vento type, it is Simpson and Neuhoff through Surtees and McLaren. Looking very comfortable as well, I have to say. Swinging up through there, Neuhoff in 5th place, number 7. Then Tom Gannon in 47 in another Tomcat in 6th place. And then, number 19, the amazing El-Buka, Brian El-Buka. That's his name. I'm not going to get very quickly. Absolutely stunning start from him. And if he can get it in amongst the pack ahead of him, there are going to be fireworks. Very entertaining gentleman already. He is up still in 7th place, but he's reeling in young Tom Gannon in down through Graham Bend there. They're all running as wide as possible out onto the rumble strip, but staying the sensible side of it. They don't want to get the boots on the mud over there, because that way nothing lies, absolutely no traction at all. So they need to keep it, if they're going to run up the rumble strips, they need to keep it on the solid stuff. And it looks to me as though Smith has lost out to Carvel. Mark Smith just been taken by Rob Carvel as they ran up through Surtees that time. And they're side by side, in fact, as they come across the start-finish line with, goodness me, Mark Smith trying to come back from Carvel, and Carvel having nothing of it, running through the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, but he runs wide, and Smith comes back, and he's running up the hill towards Druids, and Smith takes that position back. Oh, it's always the way, isn't it? You get ahead of them for a few yards, but you get the line slightly wrong, you brake slightly too late, and that's it. Back in second place there, Paul Wallace in the number 21 car. He was over the rumble strips that time and slowed himself up, probably lost 3/4 of a second or so to the leader. So Dennis Bunning looking ever more comfortable out the front and giving a lot of hope to Tony Watson in third place, who will be fractions closer as they come up across the line this time. So 1, 2, 3 across the line, all Rover Tomcats. Then we have first the two Ventos and that little battle. Then Ryan El-Buka back there in 7th place. I'm sure if he could, he would. He's looking awfully full of intention. Started 11th on the grid and up to 7th, and he'd love to make inroads into the leading 6 ahead of him. Dennis Bunning not just leading, but with 55.6, fastest lap of the race so far. And goodness me, well, it's a real effort there from Paul Wallace. He's hooking the rear wheels over the curb on the inside going into Graham Hill Bend, then clattering onto the curbs on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. It's not actually getting him any faster, but my goodness me, he is trying. And he's going to have to, because Tony Watson is right with him, shadowing his every move. I'll tell you what, Wallace actually looks very good coming off clearways, because definitely Watson closed up going through 30 from Claret as they come onto the top straight. Clarity has been restored behind them. The two Ventos at the moment, that is a little more comfortable for Len Simpson. Again, he's up in the 4th on the road, having started 7th on the grid, but far more important as far as he's concerned is he's leading Vento, tucked in behind him Mike Neuhoff, and now rather than playing about Mr. Simpson has got to worry about what's going on behind. 47 is what's going on behind Tom Gannon, and he is staying right with them. Behind them, if only they knew, was Brian El-Buka. I'm sure Brian, if he had an extra thimble full of rocket fuel, would be right in there with them, mixing it with them. As the leaders come down through the dip in front of the John Fulton Centre. My goodness me, Dennis Bunning, I can't imagine how many years he's been racing saloons of one sort or another. One of the most experienced drivers driving anything here today. And when he's got a car that works and he's sitting at the front, he wouldn't tip off on anybody else. But the MK at the moment holding his position nicely, coming down through Graham Hill Bend. The Ventos are, that's better. Now they are, you see, suddenly Mike Neuhoff has got a new lease of life and has closed right up. So it's a nice little Vento battle now. Then Simpson is either dropping back towards him, or Mike Neuhoff has really got the bit between his teeth, because the Ventos are right together as they swing through Surtees and Claren and up onto Clearways. I think perhaps they're slowing each other because the Tomcats behind them are closing in, and you've got a little battle. The leading 3 are fairly spread as they cross the line now. Then we have this group of 4, 2 Ventos and 2 Tomcats. And 7 laps to go. 6 3/4 as far as the leaders are concerned. And Dennis Bunning, well, he is very cool, calm, collected. This is a Sunday afternoon drive as far as Dennis is concerned. If he's stuck in the pack, you'll see him mixing it with everybody. He's a real fighting racing driver, but lovely and smooth when he's untroubled out the front. And here he is. As long as the car stays there, he'll be there. Paul Wallace determined not to be dropped, sticking with it. And I suppose Anthony Watson is the person suffering most. Brian El-Buka, my man of the moment, who had such a stonking start, has now picked up another position. He's suddenly got he thought, hey, this one's for me, and he soars through, and Tom Gannon goes backwards as Brian El-Buka goes forwards. And now, well, what have you got, Brian, ahead of you? A couple of Ventos. Well, he says I'll have those before the end. Dennis Bunning crosses half a dozen laps to go. Bunning, Wallace and Watson, there they go. Drew, Barney, a couple of Dibble and Grub, and then come the Ventos and Brian El-Buka. Come on, that Buka man. There he goes. He's the Vento now. He's having a little look. Now, it took probably Brian El-Buka a couple of laps sitting behind Tom Gannon there to size him up. When he saw a tiny bit of a gap, he said, that's it, that's a Buka-sized gap and I'm having it. So he's got a couple of Ventos now. He's going to keep his eye very closely on the 57 car of Len Simpson ahead of him. Len Simpson, who has been displaced in that Vento battle, because Neuhoff has got ahead of him. I don't know whether Len has a problem, but he's coming back towards the El-Buka. And here they come across start-finish line. Nice and comfortable for Dennis Bunning and Brian El-Buka looking left and right, having a little look at the side. Oh, and he's unstoppable. This is a great race for him. I'm just wondering what sort of a problem he had this morning that meant he only qualified 11th on the grid, because he's obviously got the speed for it. Dennis Bunning, 55.04, keeping his concentration by knocking in a few quick laps there. But let's see where Brian is. Brian El-Buka has been doing 56s, 56.23. Well, it's thinking cap time. He had a little try on that last lap. Would have knocked a couple of tenths off, slowed him up a little, but he's back on the case now as they swing through Surtees. Doesn't seem to be much that Tom Gannon can do about it. He hasn't really come back at the Tom Gannon ahead of him. So Dennis Bunning crosses the line for Wallace, and well, I tell you what, Mike Neuhoff is catching the third place car, but I'm looking back. Brian El-Buka trying the Jan Magnussen. I'm going around the outside of Europe paddock Ben mate line, and rather hoping that the Vento will slide wide on the exit of paddock. It does, but I was going to say he'll be wise to that. Will Len Simpson, but he squeezes the Tomcat onto the grass, and there's almost enough room for a Tomcat, but not quite. And Vento hangs on. Brian lives to fight another day. And ahead of him, it's Vento versus Tomcat. The other way around, Mike Neuhoff in 4th place is just about having a nibble for 3rd through Surtees, but door firmly slammed in his face by Tony Watson. So loudly I can hear it from here. Here they are together. There they come. Tomcat and Vento down the dip and up onto the straight. They'll look up this time and see just 3 laps to go. But that's one battler right behind them. Instead of Tomcat Vento, it's Vento Tomcat. There he is. Brian El-Buka has another look. Put up Brian, brave, but well, let's see. Will the Vento go wide? Will a gap be left? No, not that time, Brian. You have to sit where you are. So, behind the 2 leaders, who are cool, calm, collected at the moment, we have this pair of lovely battles. Brian El-Buka, he was running down the outside of Graham Hill Bend that time, trying to in his way desperately past the Vento of Len Simpson, but Len, he wise to that one, but he runs wide at Surtees, and there goes the El-Buka. Brian is through. What a wonderful drive this is from 11th place on the grid. Nice and cleanly through as well. Vento gets demoted, almost said demented, but demented bits going on in the car in front of him. And there we go, Mike Neuhoff crossing the line there in the leading Vento, but he's got a bit of aerodynamic problem, I'd say, i.e. the bumper's hanging off, so a bit of close contact there for Mike, and I don't think it's helping him any in his last couple of laps quest to get past the 3rd place Tomcat number 6 car of Tony Watson. Watson leads him down through Graham Hill Bend. Leaders, of course, are off and away, and then Brian El-Buka, splendid drive this, and goodness me, is Neuhoff going to try on the outside of Surtees? Surely not. Well, he's sat there on the road, but he's not going to get round. I don't think Tony Watson looks of a mind to make any mistakes. This one is going to go right to the checker flag. Leaders up to the line this time. We'll see. It's last lap time. They're off and away. Can the leading Vento do anything about getting on the podium? Mike Neuhoff closing in. glances in his mirrors. The top straight here at the brand, one of the few places on the Indy circuit you can look in your mirrors and actually get a view of what's going on behind. He would have had a glance then and seen the bonnet of the number 19 Tomcat of Brian El-Buka, and probably thought, where's he come from? He was nowhere near me on the grid. But there we are, he's got 3/4 of a lap left to play. Ooh, he's sliding all over the place, and that was a good manoeuvre there. Mike Neuhoff takes the inside line, coming out of Graham Hill Bend. He's standing on the low pedal, he's got the line through Surtees. Can he hang on the brakes? It's awfully adjacent through there. Anthony Watson does not want to give up his podium position. The Vento slides wide, going through McLaren, but then the Tomcat slides wide, going through clearways, and it's just as the leader crosses the line. Bunning takes the win. My goodness me, Paul Wallace is second. Can the Vento hang on for the third? Absolutely brilliant drive. Go on there, and he's just done it by the skin of his teeth and the skin of somebody else's. That was absolutely brilliant for the leading Vento of Mike Neuhoff. Anthony Watson, tough but fair, as they say. He hung on in there, came back at him, got the third place back, but ran that extra bit too wide into the top of clearways. Not enough traction, and Neuhoff goes through and not just wins the Ventos, but a well-deserved third position overall. Fantastic stuff, and I have to say, from 11th on the grid to 5th, Brian El-Buka. Yes, we'll have more of him. Very entertaining. He can come back again. Very enjoyable stuff again from the BRSCC Tomcat Vento Championship. That is the beginning of their year, which now stretches out across the country. They've got Snetton and Knowlton and Donny's and all sorts of places to go to. Mallory and Castle Coombe and points north, east, south and west. But and we look forward to seeing them back here, I do believe on October the 1st, back on the Indy circuit here at Brands Hatch. So, lovely stuff. Let's do the results by number for you. First in order and then by class. So, the overall result, first number 23, second number 21, third number 7, and fourth number 6, fifth number 19, and sixth number 57, seventh number 47,